this bitch.
Hey, Kayla.
Hi, Iyanna.
Welcome to Fill in the Blank podcast.
Welcome.
Get away. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. I'll be okay. Okay, we can go. No place 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 we can go. Get away.
Why was that so
Fill in the blank.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Fill in the Blank podcast. Hello, Iyanna.
Hey, Kayla.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
That's good.
Fan-fucking-tabulous.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that for you.
I'm in a very good place in my life
That's so
right now.
good.
I feel refreshed.
That's good.
I feel just in general like I have a lot more clarity when it comes to just things in my life and what I need to work on.
Yeah.
What I should be addressing in this period of my life. And I think it's good.
Yeah.
I'm excited for myself.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. I feel like you have the space to be you.
I have this space to be me.
Yeah.
And to relearn who I am. Because I was telling you, I don't know who I am anymore. I mean, I know who I am, but like I have to relearn my habits and stuff. I told you I was talking to Natalie and I was telling her, oh yeah, because I have a habit of doing this, and this. And Natalie was like, you don't do that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh wait, you're right. I don't do that anymore. Like past me used to do that. So now I have to like relearn
who you are at
who
this
I
stage.
am at this stage.
Yeah.
I know who I want to be, and like I know my desires and what interests me now. But overall, I just want good things around me. I want positive things that will challenge me and just like help me. When I say relearning myself, I realize I'm a lot more extroverted now. I think the reason why I was really introverted is because number one, quarantine really messed me up and I started to enjoy my space a little bit too much.
Yeah.
And then sorry. I lost my train of thought. That's why I started laughing at myself. And then, but yeah, quarantine and fuck, what was the other one? Man, shit. Oh, and I was broke. I was broke. I mean, you're experiencing that to some degree now. It's like you don't need to spend the money. You don't want to spend the money. I just didn't have money to do things. Yeah. Now I have a little money
to do stuff.
And I want to do everything.
Yeah.
And I need friends who also have time to do everything. Because y'all are busy as hell.
Yeah.
But
it's that
okay.
season.
I just have more space. I mean, more time.
Yeah.
And space.
Yeah. You said both.
I have both.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just in a weird.
Yeah, you're in a transition. You're
and
in a
I mean,
very
like,
tough transition.
It's a good thing because I know what
the benefits will be.
Yes, like where the direction that it's going for me, but it's just very strange for me. Like every time I come back, like to going to work after having my entire summer off and being able to have like autonomy over my time and my schedule. And then it goes into me having to like go based off of the schedule that somebody else has given me. This is the reason why I've always known, like, I don't need a traditional job because it aggravates the mess out of me. I like being able to say like, okay, this is going to be my time dedicated to this and to this. But being at work and them telling me
it's draining. It
is so draining for me. That part is really hard. So I feel like I'm just in a space where I'm trying to like figure out how to prioritize, like what we were talking about before we started recording. Like I need to be able to prioritize my time and manage it very, very good so that I can have the space for other stuff. And then also to be more like gentle with myself and forgiving if there's times that I can't do things. And that's the part that's hard for me because I want to like say yes to everything. And I have to realize like you can't say yes to everything. Like especially right now, you can't do that. Like you have a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. That's the hardest part about being an adult, I think, is always trying to find the balance in anything that you do. So I'm always trying to find the balance between being like self-critical but also giving myself the grace. And that's always been something that I struggled with. Like either I'm going a little bit too hard on myself and I get discouraged, or I think I'm the shit and I can't smell my own booty hole. So it's just like
one or the other, one extreme or the other.
One or the other.
Something in my
but as I get older, I realize I'm getting a little bit better with it and I'm finding the balance a little bit more.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I think that I'll figure it out. This is going to force me. It's going to be kind of like make or break. Like,
I mean, and I know that it'll be a make.
Yeah.
You're not
I just have to get very structured, and I don't like that.
That's hard to do. It's hard.
I don't like it.
Maybe you should start. So when I was in school, I did like a whole sticky note calendar.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is it takes time to like just do the calendar itself.
Mm-hmm.
But like a whole entire sticky note, because you have the room in here. If you do a full sticky note calendar,
mm-hmm.
and you'll know each day what you need to do, and you can keep filling it with like different things.
I like that. That's my next, like we said that after we finish the living room, that this would be the space. Yeah.
No, I'm saying like sometime this week, let me help you make a sticky note calendar for the next 2 to 3 months.
I love that.
And then we can just go ahead and like put on each one.
I love that. You know, that's like my love language. When my friends are like, I'm an acts of service person. Yeah. That's one of my love languages. So when people tell me that they'll show up for me and help me do something, I would love to help
you do that. I think so.
Don't make me cry.
So in my mind, I told you like I've been wanting to do a lot more things, but in my mind, I was just like, well, I want to go out. I want to like eat. I want to do this. I want to do that. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm gonna meet you where you are, and I think I want to do that.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll cry.
Oh my God.
No, but that helps a lot, because there's times I want to do stuff when you say stuff you like, when oysters on Wednesday and I have that class on Wednesday, I'm literally in the house like,
do you have it every Wednesday?
Every Wednesday for 2.5 hours.
I had one.
So that's why when you said Wednesday, I'm like, ah!
Dang. I was about to say we could do Thursdays, but you have to do it by like I think 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'd be down for that too.
I'd be down
if
for
you
that.
do want to.
I want some oysters. Oysters make everything better.
They do make everything better. Oh my God. Do you know a lot of people were like really gravitating toward the fact that like, because I just did a reel talking about my ADHD and how I have food fixations. Uh-huh. And I feel like that's another little arena that I can explore more, kind of posting more about my ADHD, because a lot of people seem to really relate to that.
Yes. I think that I was just talking about this at work. One of my coworkers called me out about me having ADHD. She was like, everybody in this room must have ADHD. I said, ooh, that's me. Like, because I was the one that started the distraction. Like, we were all talking about something. I said, so what about...
You see how we struggle in this damn podcast. We've been taking all types of detours.
I know. It's really hard.
And then it's hard to come back to them. And we look at Ariel. What? Help?
Yeah, Ariel doesn't have ADHD. So she helps us stay on track. Not the eye twitch.
Yeah.
And with that, I guess it's time for us to move into the topic.
Yes.
So do you want to read it?
Yes. So we're about to read one of our submissions on our... on our what do you call this thing?
Like our Google
viewers
form
submission.
Yeah, our listener submission.
We're gonna read out a listener submission.
It's your chance to fill in the blank.
Woo, woo.
Yeah, so
see what we did there?
Right. So if you all don't know, or if you didn't listen to the previous episode where we first introduced it, explained it, and all of that, we are doing listener submissions now. You can find it on our Instagram and our link tree, and you can submit a scenario, anything that you're going through, or if you need advice about something, and then we will take the space and the time to be able to talk about those fill in the blanks on the episode.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So here we go. I moved to a city alone, away from friends and family for a job. The first 2 years have been great, but now I'm missing my family and friends back home, even though I have made some here in my new town. What would you do in this situation? I've actually been in this situation several times. I
think that this is a great question for you to kick it off with.
So for those of you who don't know, I'm actually from Atlanta, Georgia. I've always wanted to move away from home since I've always said middle school. It's always been for me just like this ideal. That was okay. Ariel's face just then. It was like very focused. I've just always wanted, it's just been an escape for me. Like I don't want to be here. I can't be here. I don't like none of these people. I'm ready to go type of thing. So as soon as I graduated from college, I within a month was like, I'm moving. Well, before then I planned on it. But within a month I did move, and I moved to Boston, and then I ended up living in Rhode Island, where I met my friends Meredith and Kimberly. I went to not Cancun. Where'd I go?
Dominican
Republic with them. Thank you. See, 2 brains is always nice. And then I moved after living there for 2 years. I moved here to Chicago. Yeah, and I've been here now for about 2 years. Okay, which is why I think I also started getting the itch, and I was like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. But so I've experienced it multiple times. Right. And there's always this point in time. Well, at first I didn't care about, I love people back home, but it just wasn't on my radar. But after some time, I realized I was getting very, very homesick, especially during quarantine. I realized how much I needed kind of that foundational group of people in my life, like my parents and my 2 best friends from back home who I've known for like a really long time. There's nothing that can touch those kind of relationships, because they're just different. Yeah, they're just different. And even though I have like you guys and Natalie, I'm homesick right now. Yeah, and I'm like, I want to go home. Yeah, so I mean, I told you I've been trying to go home for a while. Yeah, to just spend time there and kind of refresh, because that's a different kind of refresh.
It is. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you can, try to go home for even just a weekend. It's been helpful for me, but also a lot of FaceTiming. I don't like FaceTiming though. It's just not the same.
It's just, it don't hit the same. It don't having that like in-person connection. Yeah. So what do you think, like, I guess just to like expand on the topic, what do you feel like is grounding you to like still be to stay here, or just to stay away from going back home?
It's been really my logic, because my emotions are like pulling me there, of course. But my logic is like, Iyanna, you have responsibilities here. You can't just up and leave, which usually I think to me would feel like a trap. Like I would feel trapped, but instead, like to me, it feels like an investment. So I'm like investing time here because I have to be here right now. Yeah. And I think that's okay. Yeah. It won't always be like that. Right. But I've realized if I pour more into the relationships I have here, then they may not come close to the ones at home, but they're still fulfilling for me. Yeah. So that's been something I've actually been currently learning, just because like I have the itch. Yeah. Like I want to
I can get that. And I've never been in that situation before. I've always been on the opposite end of like having my people like move away from me. Oh yeah. That's been the thing that's been.
What is that like? Because I always wonder what it's actually like for like Anna and Bree, especially to see me like make new friends. And at first I know that there was some friction there with me and Anna, because Anna's very much like, who these people?
Right. Territorial.
Who was that? Yeah. And I understood it, because she was like very protective. Yeah. But how is that? I mean,
and it's so funny, because that's how my best friend Miranda is. She's the territorial friend, like out of all of my friends, and we've been friends since high school. So she's known me for a really long time, and she's the one like, what? Who is that?
Who this woman?
She's the one that gets mad. Like I was in the Starbucks line maybe about 2 weeks ago, and I was paying for Starbucks like with the app on my phone, and the girl was like, "Oh my gosh, like we have the same phone case. We're twins." And I had Miranda on my car speaker. She said, "Girl, that's not your twin." She said, "Who is that?" I was like, "Miranda, you're embarrassing me. Stop embarrassing me." But I think it feels like it's been hard for me. So like Ariel and I, this has been the first time we've been back in the same city living in this, like it's been for a while now, but like since high school. Oh wow. Like after when we went away to college, like she went to college in Virginia first, and then she went to Texas, and I was still in Illinois. So it was rare that we saw each other, and we just used to do a lot of like FaceTime dates all the time. Like me and Ariel would do like literally like date nights on FaceTime, and we would be like, we would get our wine and we would sit and talk with each other and whatnot. So it almost felt like that she wasn't away. Yeah. Like we kind of created a norm in our friendship with us being away from each other. But with some of my other friendships, because I do have people that I grew really close to, especially in college, that moved away. So Shartice is one of them. You met Shartice. And then there's another one. They have similar names, Shantice. And she also lives in Texas. They both moved to Texas.
Oh, wow.
And then I have another friend from college I was really close with. Her name is Nia. And she moved to Texas as well. So all of my friends from college up and moved to Texas. So that was kind of hard for me because especially with me and Shartice like reconnected our friendship when she was just about to move away. It was like in the middle of the pandemic.
Oh, that's tough.
But me and Shantice, like before she left to Texas, I was with her every single day. And so it was really difficult for me when she left. And I got why she wanted to go. But then I was also like, don't leave. Like, and I think it makes it really difficult when you're not in the position necessarily to like up and take trips to see your friend all the time. It's like, you just have to, and if you're not the type of person that wants to, like you were saying, like you don't want to FaceTime all the time. I feel like that's kind of how our relationship is. Like, we don't talk all the time, but it's always like, we know what it is.
Yeah,
like,
you know, that's me.
I know that she's one of my main girls. Like, every time we do talk, it's like we never missed a beat. Yeah. So she just surprised me and came home. That was like a few weeks ago that she was here and I got to see her and I was just like, oh my gosh. But now she's about to move back to Chicago.
Oh, so I love that.
I know. So that's just so crazy, but it's hard. Like,
it is hard.
And it made it difficult for me because it made me feel like I didn't have friends. Like, I felt for a long time like I don't have friends because all of my friends.
That's what Anna was saying.
Yeah.
Anna said she felt exactly that way too. Because I know, well, so in the beginning, Anna was the one who couldn't just like up and come see me. Now it's Bree. Like at some point, Anna, and they normally don't come see me with just like one or the other. Right. It always has to be both of them. Right. But Anna had to come just by herself. Yeah. And I think that was the first time that's ever happened. Yeah. And she was saying like how she wanted to come again. She's like, but I can't do it without Bree this time because Bree's gonna be just left out. Yeah. And I don't know, it hurts my heart. And I'm like, I have to come see you guys, but I missed basically Noah growing up, still missing Noah growing up. Yeah. Kalia, Bree's new baby. I haven't seen that baby. Yeah. I've only seen her through FaceTime. She's so cute.
She is cute.
She's so cute. And I feel like it's happening again. And the first time I saw Noah was 1. Yeah. It's just weird.
That part is hard to miss out on, just like little moments. Yeah. And it's been, I think that's kind of like the transition, like where you kind of decide like how serious this friendship is to you. You know, that like, even if you are missing out in person on certain little moments, to know that like you have the type of bond that's going to sustain, you know, and to be able to keep up with different things that are going on, even if it's not going to be all the time. Like you like, and I think you have different friendships that require different things. Agreed. You know, so like
I know some of my friendships wouldn't last, like being long distance.
Yeah, yeah.
I just know without just because of how we are, it just wouldn't last.
Yeah, you definitely have to like decide how it's gonna work. Yeah. And I think like with, for example, I keep talking about Shantice, but like it's because of before she left, we did everything together. She used to basically live in my house.
That's an absence.
Yeah. So we went, and I remember at the beginning, I had to tell her when she first moved away, I was like, I feel like we aren't talking as much as we need to. But that it was just a transition period of me learning like, okay, we are not in the same city, so we might not talk as much as what we did before. Yeah. But knowing that bond is still present, I think it's just about like knowing how much you value that person in your life.
Agreed. I agree.
So what would you do in this person's situation?
Honestly, like you have very few options. I know that sounds so pessimistic, but it's like either you go home for a little bit. If your job allows, it'd be nice if you could stay even longer than a weekend, but you go there, you get refreshed, you come back. Life gets in the way of you just like being able to go home, like PTO. PTO always gets in my way. I'm a working woman, a 9-to-5 working woman, which I don't want to be. Right. But I am, because I got to pay my bills.
Okay.
Amen.
Hello.
But that, and like your friends could come see you, but even still, it's not, people don't have the funds to just like up and come to a trip, or you can plan long term, but sometimes that it's not helpful when you're in a space where you're like, I need to refresh now. Like I miss my family. I miss like my friends. Yeah. And I know there was a long a few years where I only saw my friends and family from back home once a year. And that was during Christmas. Yeah. Christmas was always my time. I would save enough PTO every single year to take off a good week to 2 weeks and then just go there and spend a lot of time there. Yeah. And I really looked forward to that.
Yeah. I think it also it depends on what's tying you to that place. Yeah. And that's the conversation that I have with both of my friends that are in Texas. And I ask them, like, what's keeping you there? Like, if you're saying if you're saying that you miss being home so much with your family and your friends, like, do you still have purpose? Like, has that space served its purpose already? If it has not, and you feel like there's still more for you to do in that space, then it is like up to you to determine how you're going to maneuver that. But if it's not no longer serving you, then like, don't tie yourself somewhere that you don't necessarily feel like you need to be.
I agree. I had to ask that question to myself. I think once the divorce started to happen, I was like, am I supposed to be here or not? Because at that point, it's like Jared was the only thing holding me here. And then our podcast happened. And then I was like, this is enough for me to stay in Chicago. As much as I don't like it here, I'm like, I have to stay. This is something I have to see through and just push through with. But I also don't want to go back home. So it's like, if I left Chicago, I probably just end up moving somewhere
to another city.
And starting.
I think you just need, like, from how you talk about it, it seems like you just need time, like more frequent times to go home and to get that interaction with your friends. Yeah. So that you can kind of like have that fulfillment in that area.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, it's definitely this thing of just wanting to go back home. It's just FOMO, really. I am missing things in my friends' lives, and it's breaking my heart. I want to be there. I want to be present for it, not just like watch from afar. And that sucks. Even with my parents, like stuff going on in their lives, and I don't get to like see it firsthand. But other than that, there's nothing that like I still don't want to go back home. Yeah, like, I don't want to live there.
Like, there was a reason why you had that feeling
since middle school,
right? So it's just that just might not be the actual space for you, like the city that you'll ever live in, but it might become a point in your life where you can travel more frequently, and it won't be such a big deal about that, you know. And you'll be able to go home, like maybe every month you get to go home. And you get to have that time to be with them. And that would be
so ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not even every month. I think if I just could go like once every 2 months, I'd be satisfied with that.
Yeah. But I feel like that's more than possible, especially like as your career begins to grow and finances become to the point where it's not like I have to see if I can or cannot. Like, that's something that is definitely doable for every 2 months for you to be able to pop in.
I hope so. Yeah. I definitely want to.
That's why we gonna grind, and this podcast gonna do right. Y'all gonna stop talking about us, and we gonna do right. And then if you get to the point where you have like autonomy over your schedule.
Oh my God.
That is enough.
Bro, we could do whole like vlogs on us traveling.
Yeah. That's the type of, like, that is the life I envision for myself. Right? Is that what you're talking about? Like, having autonomy to say, like, and to be able to work from different spaces.
Because anything could be content. Anything could be like.
Everything is content. Everything is content.
Don't forget to feel it. Don't forget to. Okay.
I'm so weak.
But yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that concept of FOMO is such a huge part of what, like, and even on the reverse side of me, like, watching my friends from afar I'm at home and watching them from afar do their thing and then grow into like better people and seeing them level up and feeling like I have like not a front row seat like I would want to have. That part is difficult on the outside looking in. Like, I fear that I'm missing out on important moments
in their life,
in their life. Like it, and I think it's just a part of growing up. And when I think about it, I think about like just when I was growing up, like my family, we're kind of like my immediate family on my mom's side. They were the ones who made that decision. Like, all of my mom's side of the family is from Mississippi. They all still live in Jackson. So my papa and my nana, they moved here to Chicago. So they were away from all of their family, and my mom was away from all of her close relatives and they would just go down there every summer. So they were kind of like the people who were just like we don't want to be here anymore. We love y'all and we want to be with y'all, but like this is not the space that we see ourselves growing in, and they went to a different city.
The space is too cramped for me now.
Yeah.
I'm growing past.
Yeah. And I think it's just important to, like we were just saying, to set aside the time when you can to be, if you feel like you need to be someplace else, that's fine. You can be in that other space, but just setting aside the time to make sure that you still are able to connect with your family, friends, and all of that on a consistent enough basis that it doesn't feel so draining, like you're just missing out on so much, you know?
I agree. I remember when I did first move out, my parents were trying to like dedicate every Sunday. I need to call them, and that got to be really draining. Now I call my parents just cause, and I'll be like, "What'd you do?
Yeah,
where you at?" And I'll be looking at location. I see you. What you doing? Because I'm a stalker. But anyways, yeah. But a little tidbit, a little advice from someone who has experienced that. And from the other side, I will say it was really interesting hearing your perspective, because I've never really asked Anna and Bree that, but I've always been curious about it.
Yeah. And it probably hurts for them too, just like in a different kind of way, you know, like they're at home, but then it's like, dang, like I want to do things with my friend that's not here, you know?
Yeah.
It's a difficult and very delicate balance. That's why, like, when Shartice came in town, you saw, like, I was literally bawling my eyes out. I hadn't seen her in, like, 4 years.
Wow.
So it was just crazy to be able to, you know, to have that moment.
Yeah.
But it's just a reminder. I think that those things really remind you of how strong your bonds are with certain people, that, like, when you connect with them and you're able to see them. And both, like, all of my friends that live in Texas, I don't get to talk to them very often because our schedules are all so crazy. But like when we do get to talk and when we do see each other, it's just like we haven't missed a beat. Like my views haven't changed. Like you're still the same person that I thought of you as then as I do now, you know?
Yeah.
I think that type of
just
stuff
a level of comfort there. I know. Oh my God, just being around Anna and Bree, I don't even have to say anything. I really don't even have to do anything. Just like being around them feels refreshing enough. Yeah. They just feel like home. Yeah. I mean, they are home.
Yeah. They're your friends that you've had for a very long time.
For a very long time.
Those kind of friendships are not easy to come by.
They're not easy to maintain.
No.
In the beginning.
Yeah.
There's always like this period where you have to push through. And it's always like a life transition in someone's life. Yeah. And once you push through a couple of those, like you're solidified.
Yeah, most definitely. I think that really showcases. And I think that it's also important to know that like you'll have different friendships that pop up in your life that will be tidbits of like, oh, this is also somebody that I can like really put my trust into. Like they know this piece of me very, very well.
That's how I feel about you and Natalie and Raven. With each of you, it's like a different connection though. And so I get like a different need from every single one of you guys. Yeah. So I know when I need like a specific thing, I know who to go to. So I will say like the combination of like the three of you guys make me feel at home.
Yeah. I'm happy that that's the case. Cause we talked about, and I think we even talked about this on the first episode of the podcast, just like how important it was. I'll speak for myself, like in my life, that you came when you did, because that's when I was praying for aligned friendships. Yeah. Like I was praying to be friends with people that were like me. And so to be able to like cultivate that type of friendship and for us to click like we did, like the first time we hung out, I was like, oh, like this is my kind of girl. Like this is somebody I could see myself having a long-term friendship with. But you know, it definitely, it takes time for it to like build up to the point, like, you know, the type of friendships where it's like solidified. Like we've been through the rain and the storms together and we know nothing's changing. Like,
I see, and I feel like we're definitely going to get there, but we still have like a lot more investments to do. And I'm okay with that.
Me too.
I'm excited for the
investments. Me too. Because like we were just talking about, just like the seasons we both went through very turbulent seasons, this like year, back to back.
Been whooping our
So, and I mean, not to say that like life is not going to life just in general. But there, like, it might be like a season where things are more stable, and then those kind of things that we're both looking for, it's like, oh yeah, let's go do this. I feel like during the summertime, that's when we like pick, because I'm able to do stuff. I'm like, let's go. And then when I go back to work, I'll be like, I can't do nothing. Life is life.
You be so drained. I be feeling so bad, Kayla. I'm like, I can't call Kayla to ask her to go because I know she's tired.
No, you can always ask me. I just need like heads up. Like at this phase, I just need like,
we gotta schedule stuff.
Yes,
I think that's okay.
And I hate that, but it's okay.
I hate that too.
I hate that.
That's gonna be out of our comfort zone. But it's just gonna be something we gotta do.
It's something we gotta do. It's about putting the investment and time into friendships. Yep.
Gotta sow that money.
Okay.
Help that seed grow.
All right. Okay. So we're gonna move on to Fill of the Week. So you said that you had something that you wanted to talk about that you dived into after.
Yeah, cause I know. So when we talked about Chloe and Hallie, you had like a lot of background information that I didn't quite have. Because you watched their tea times and stuff. So I found this whole page dedicated to them on TikTok, and I was just scrolling, watching like their interviews, their tea times, like their lives. And I actually still think that Chloe's being her authentic self.
Yeah.
Especially after watching her stuff. I think because she is, I won't say she's more timid than her sister, but she's just a lot more, what's the word? Her sister's like, I'll fight you. And she's just a little bit more like,
she's like very sensitive. It seems like she's, and not, because I know people take sensitive as a negative word. First of all, it's not negative. It's not bad to be sensitive, but she is like, she's an emotional person.
She's an empath.
Yeah,
I can tell she's an empath.
And Hallie be sitting there like,
oh my God, did you watch the one that I sent you? Where that
I saw that. I watched that
crying
live. I watched it live when it was happening.
It was so bad. Yeah. But I think because like they're so different in that aspect, people would think that like because Chloe is that way and an empath, she wouldn't be comfortable enough to like be that sexy. But I saw sexy elements of her beforehand.
Yeah.
She likes to express herself in that way. I think that is her.
I think that she finds it empowering, and like, I've seen her talk about this before, like, because I think it was when she got a whole bunch of backlash at some point about, I think it was the performance she did for, she did a performance on one of the morning shows. She did a remake of Feeling Good. And people slaughtered her about it because it was like really sexy.
Yeah.
And she was just talking about kind of what it took for her to get to this point.
Yeah.
Like to build up the confidence to be
proud.
Outwardly sexy.
Yeah.
Because she struggled with that and she hasn't embraced her body for such a long time. And so I think that when people are saying that she is extra, and I see that because it is a lot sometimes, but I think that it's her like at this stage of her life, like where she's still young and she's still figuring it out. I think it's her really like, I don't want to say convincing herself, but like building that confidence up inside of herself. And that's something that makes her feel that way, you know?
I disagree.
What do you think?
I still just think that's a part of her. I understand it to a certain degree because like I'm going through this phase of my life where, and I can talk about this more in the next episode because I think it's a part of it anyways. But I'm going through this phase of my life where I'm relearning myself and just a lot more confident in myself than I was before. And I find myself wanting to like do sexy things and like post certain pictures. But then of course I think about the backlash and I'm like, I can't do that. And so I don't do it. But she's in a position where she's like, well, I don't give a fuck. I feel this way, so I'm going to do it. And that's it. Yeah. I don't think she's going to calm down.
I don't think she's necessarily going to calm down, but I think it's going to be refined.
I see
if you get what I mean.
I see what you mean.
I think that it's just like it's not going to be
oversaturation.
Sometimes it comes off like you could tell when things are very authentic versus when it's like some like almost like performance. And I think sometimes it does come off a little performative with her. But I think that this is part of her personality. I don't think she's going to stop, but I think that it's going to be more refined where it'll be more digestible.
I agree.
That's what I
think she
see.
at least should get to a point to where it's more digestible.
Yeah. But she's so young. Like
she is very young.
Like imagine if you were in the spotlight.
She's what, like 23, 24?
Yeah. Like I think, like 24. She's a baby.
I think it'll probably hopefully get a little bit more refined probably within the next 2 years. Because 24,
she's gonna find 26. Her stride.
Yeah.
And she's gonna find what her image is, like as a solo artist, because at first she had her and her sister.
So it's always a polarized.
But she was always the one that did a little more. Hallie has always been a little extra. More. That's just
even
her.
When you watch them perform, like she's just a lot more theatrical to her voice too. And Hallie's just a lot more like calm with it. She
and I like that balance.
When is her birthday? Hallie just gives me very strong like Taurus vibes or Aries vibes.
She's an Aries. What do you think that Chloe is?
Fuck if I know.
She's a Cancer.
I don't know what that means.
She's a water sign. Water signs are really emotional.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's why she's super like, you're crying. I'm gonna cry. Like that's where that comes literally from.
Her. I didn't know much about horoscopes until I moved here, and I think I've just been paying attention more to like the people in my life and what their sign is. And I've never had a Cancer in my life. Really? I think the only signs I've really had are Sagittarius. Not both of y'all.
They both Sagittarius.
See what I tell you, Sagittarius. Now Scorpios are coming out of the woodwork. I don't know what the fuck is going on. But Scorpio's coming out of the woodwork. Aries, Taurus, and that's just about it.
What are Anna and Bree's signs?
I actually don't know. I'm gonna ask him. Hopefully,
do you know what month are their birthdays in?
Look, don't ask me. I promise that doesn't mean
we gonna edit that out.
Don't worry.
I promise that doesn't mean I'm a bad friend. I just am so bad with dates.
Remembering dates. That's why I said what month. That's why I didn't ask you today.
I'm trying to think. Anna's in June. And Breeze is in December. Breeze is definitely in December.
She's a Sagittarius.
Because hers is near Christmas. Sagittarius.
Or a Capricorn.
Yeah.
And Anna's a Taurus. What I tell you. Taurus, Aries, Sagittarius, and now Scorpios.
I've always attracted Tauruses.
Woo.
Aries are now.
Woo.
I don't know.
Because I'm half.
Sag. I've also had like close relationship with Pisces.
When is Pisces?
March. My father is a Pisces.
I know a few, but I'm not close to them.
Yeah. I get along with Pisces. But isn't
that crazy though?
Yeah.
You should just start paying attention to the people in your life and seeing what
I always ask. But I noticed that a lot of times, well, it's kind of transitioned a little bit now, but like when I was younger, a lot of times I would attract people that were more of the type of signs that are more blunt.
Yeah.
But I think still even like now, Ariel. But yeah, because
Ariel's blunt as hell.
But I used to be so much more soft spoken than what I am now. Yeah. So all of my friends felt very like,
that's pulled something out of you though.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
My friends were very protective over me for a long time where they would speak for me.
Oh yeah.
And be like, do you want it? Like we could go there. Like, what's up? And I'd just be sitting in the background like, yes. What they said.
That's funny.
But yeah, it is really interesting when you see. But like, are Sagittarius fire signs? Yeah.
Oh, really?
Fire signs. Because Marcus is an Aries. He's a fire sign.
Wow.
Yeah.
All the people in my life. It just fits within those categories. It's funny.
So yeah. And my mom was a Taurus. So
wow.
Yeah. I've had a lot of like Taurus besties over the years. Woo. And I only have my best friend Miranda. She's a Scorpio like me. Our birthdays are exactly a week apart. So,
dude, I know so many Scorpios now.
Yeah.
I know at least 4.
We're the best.
And y'all came in my life within the last year.
That's crazy.
Because I didn't have any Scorpio. And maybe that's something that I need in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is. No, for real
that's what
though.
we do.
No, for real. I'm like, what is it about you guys that I need right now? Though?
I don't know, but we're here.
Maybe it's the emotional side.
Here to stay. Yeah.
Y'all are just so intense.
I feel like they leech.
Like, calm down. For real. Like, bro, chill.
Relax on the Scorpios. Relax on the Scorpios. But I always hear I'm not a typical Scorpio. I hear that, huh?
What's your moon sign?
I'm a
we're Pisces. We're both Pisces.
Right, I'm a Pisces moon.
You're
and
not a typical Scorpio?
Yeah.
Jared's not a typical
my
Scorpio.
rise, yes he is.
He is?
Yes he is.
Yes.
What?
My ex.
Wait. Okay, so the only thing I know about Scorpios is y'all are intense as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all feel heavily.
Mm-hmm. Because we're water signs.
Jared feels heavily.
Mm-hmm.
He just don't. Jared's not controlled. Jared don't give a fuck. Jared don't give a fuck about nothing. Jared just do whatever's in the moment.
I'm not gonna lie though, I feel like I identify more with my rising sign.
What's your rising sign?
I'm a Capricorn.
You know the one that I'm telling you, we should do an episode on this because I want to talk about my personality so bad because people seem to be very confused about this shit. People are very
They don't know who you are.
They don't know who the
We're
fuck I
gonna
am.
literally do an episode where we talk about we're gonna talk about our sun, moon, and rising signs.
Yeah.
And talk about how that shows up in our lives.
We should do that.
Because people even comment and be like, they always think we're Aquarius. But
what
like
does that mean?
They said because we're insightful. I don't know.
Oh, I love Aquarius. I had an Aquarius phase.
Okay.
An Aquarius phase instead of phase.
Did it stop?
One of my longtime friends is Aquarius. And like I get along with Aquarius. They're very like to themselves.
I like how we're just having a conversation here.
Yeah.
This is great.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, let's wrap it up. What was I about to say? You usually do it.
You do it.
Okay, well, that's the end of this episode, motherfuckers. I love y'all. Thank you for listening to Fill in the Blank. This is why I should never close this out ever again. Follow us on Instagram and YouTube, of course, at Fill in the Blank. Instagram, Fill in the Blank _. My handle, because I'm going to give it now, is at Iyanna.amore. Kayla's is
As told by Kayla.
woo. And that's a wrap, folks.
Bye.
Peace out. It's on now.